Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. To those of you who's been with me from the start, thank you and welcome back. And to those of you who's just stumbled upon this video for the first time, welcome and I hope you will stay along. By the way, I'm Cheryl of The Elegant Ermine. You can find me on Facebook as The Elegant Ermine, as well as on Instagram as the.elegant.ermine. I share everything about crochet, my crochet journey, crochet patterns, and the process of creating a design and everything in between that has to do with the craft crochet. And for today's video, we'll be talking quite a lot for today. Today's video is about the episode 7 of the Fiber Love Affairs podcast. I'll be sharing with you some finished projects, whips, and my latest acquisitions. I have quite a yarn haul today that I'll be sharing with you later. So my last update was just last February, and I wasn't able to have a podcast last month. And the last update that I was able to share with you with my PRIMA square for my PRIMA blanket was the first week of February. I did mention from my last episode that I did not follow the plan of the color pairing anymore because of the reason that I have yarn inconsistencies in terms of the thickness of the yarns. So I have to pair a certain cake that has thinner yarn with another cake that has thicker yarn so that I would be able to come up the uniform size of the square. I cannot pair thinner yarns or thinner yarn with another thinner yarn because for sure I would be having a smaller square than the rest of the square. Now let's have the square that I was able to do on the second week of February. But this is the first week of February. I was able to share this one from my last episode. And of course, this is the second. I just interchanged the color. Here, I used the gray for the single crochet, and this time I used the gray for the double crochet rows. And for the third week of February, I have this one. This is the day 1 of my yarn advent. This is somehow a maroon color, and the light blue is day 16th. I love the color combination of this. I did not expect that the color combination would turn out this good. Like, this is my favorite so far color combination. So this one is the third week of February. Next is this one. So the fourth week of February. So I just, like what I've said, I just interchanged the color. So this one is the third and this one is the fourth week. Now, so these are my February squares. Now for the month of March, I have this. This is the gray and the red. Now the red is 21. The gray is day 21 of my yarn advent, and the red is, let me check my notes. The red is I think this is day 4 of my yarn advent. I think this is day 4 of my yarn advent. This one. And then the second week of March, here is the square for the second week. And for the third week of March, I had another yarn combination. So this is peach, and beige. So the peach is day 10 of my yarn advent, and the beige is day 18th. This is the third week of March, and this is the fourth week of March. For my March squares, I wasn't able to finish the squares, a specific square for the specific week, because I ran out of the white yarn for the border. But still, I was able to finish all 4 squares at the month of March. For the month of April, the first week of April, I have this. This is blue, dark blue or royal blue, and golden yellow. Now, the blue is the day 15th of my yarn advent, and then the golden yellow is day 11th. So this is the first week of April. Now, the second week of April, the square for the second week of April, I did not finish it yet. It's not finished, but I'm on the edging part already. I'm finished with this one with the color changes. I'm finished with the blue and the yellow color, and I would have to do the edging or the border square of the border of the square. I had started the third square or the square for the third week of April. I love this color combination. This is the bottle green, which is the day 20 of my yarn advent, and the lilac, which is day 5 of my yarn advent. I love this color combination. This is one of the strong contenders for my favorite color combination. Look how pretty it is. So for the third and the fourth week of April, I'm going to use these yarns. And April is not yet finished, and I still have time to finish my April squares. And next for the finished project is my PNINA shawl. The last time that I had an update with my PNINA, I was still here in this part, maybe this first divider. But now it's finished. Sorry, it's finished. The pattern is in its testing phase already, and we're actually nearing the end of the schedule. The work of my testers are very, very pretty. They have very gorgeous colors of their shawls. They're very kind and helping me with my pattern, and hopefully I would be able to release the pattern of this PNINA shawl maybe first or second week of May. For my PNINA shawl, the yarn that I used here is I bought this from Stitches and Beyond by JK. This is an 8-ply fine fingering weight cotton. This is 100% cotton, local yarn that is, or locally sourced yarn. Now the name of the colorway is Geek, and I had a cake shown to you when I first bought it last year. I was able to share this yarn when it was still in a cake last year. And the reason that I bought this specific colorway is because of this color, this teal. I love that it really pops, having dark colors on both sides. So this is Geek. I consumed 249 grams of yarn for this, and I used a 3.25 millimeters hook. But I will be having a separate video with my PNINA shawl next time, because I would also love to share with you the works of my testers. So everything about my PNINA, I'm going to have a separate video with this. Some thought process, inspirations. So for this particular prototype, I started this last January 24 and then finished this last March 19, because I had another PNINA, the one that I showed you before, that was another prototype, because it has a different edging. I finished it last 2021, and so like what I've said, it took me 2 years to finish or to write the pattern, to put the pattern into writing. And since I also did some modifications on the edging, and I used this particular project to be the prototype of my PNINA. So this is my PNINA shawl. So far, those are just or I only have a couple of finished projects. Now let me share with you my whips. My whip, works in progress this time. So I have this. This is my CALLA ZIVA shawl from this one. So I shared this one before with you. This is my CALLA ZIVA. And I made this at the very height of the pandemic last May of 2020. And still, I haven't released or even put the pattern into writing with my CALLA ZIVA, and now I'm trying to write the pattern, so that's why I make another one. And besides, I have inconsistencies here that I wanted to correct. That's why I make another one. So this is my CALLA ZIVA. I used an 8-ply Indophil yarn, an imported Indophil yarn this time. So far, this is not a yarn eater pattern. I started this last Saturday, last Saturday, and could have finished this within a week if had I not ran out of yarn. But because I ran out of yarn, so I still did order the yarn, and so I have to order the yarn online, and it took only a week for the yarn to arrive. But unfortunately, the yarn that I purchased this time it doesn't match with the yarn that I used here. It's totally different. It's not just like the color difference. It's not just subtle, but it's like it has different color. It's totally different, or it's totally different color. So let me show you the yarn. Now let me show you the color that I purchased this time, or the yarns that I purchased this time. This one. It's more of a green rather than like this, a yellow green, I mean. So it's totally different. The seller said that the manufacturer, sometimes they would have color difference in terms of the batch that they're making. Yeah, I would agree, because that happens. But it's just that the color difference is not that subtle. Or you can have a slight difference in terms of the color, because the manufacturing is like the dye lot. But seems like this is a totally different color. So since I cannot use this to finish my project, I really have to frog this so that I can use the yarn for another project. Actually, I'm nearing in completing this. I still have to add this divider here, and then another one of this, and then that's it. So I would still have to consume maybe this much, because this much is what I'm going to add, what I have to add, or after this. But I cannot use this yarn to finish this project, because this is totally different. So I have to frog this, and I have now started remaking this one. So when I ordered the yarn, I did not expect the yarn, to be this color instead of this. I bought this yarn last year. I didn't have the idea of creating it into a shawl or creating it into a bigger project. I just bought the yarn because I wanted to compare this imported Indophil yarn with the Indophil yarns that I have been using that is locally sourced. So that was just the reason. So I only bought 1K. And then come this time that I wanted to recreate my CALLA ZIVA, and I wanted to use the yarns that they already have. And yes, I ran out of yarn. So I thought I could order the same color from the same seller, because the color color name was just the same. So I thought it would still be the same yarn. So if only there would, if only it was just a little color change, that would still be okay for me. So absolutely I cannot use this yarn to finish this project. The color difference is really obvious. So I really have to file this so that I can use the yarn in another project. But anyway, it's okay, because I have learned something from this, that I really need to have a lot or enough yarn when I wanted to start a bigger project. So I won't be using the yarn that I have on my stash, in which it would not be enough for a larger project that I have in mind. So that's okay. And besides, I would be able to correct some stitch counts that I wanted to improve here. So that's okay. So for the whips, I only have this and the PRIMA square. Now for the latest acquisitions, I have quite a yarn haul here. But aside from that, I also purchased other things. But I was able to accumulate this since March. So I did not bought this at one time. Now first, let's have this. So these are bag accessories, metal hardwares. This one. I bought this because I wanted to use this for my PRIMA crossbody bag. I still haven't finished my PRIMA crossbody bag. So I bought this. So for this one, I bought this from daphne.home.ph in Shopee. This is 90 each, so I bought two. So this is for, for the sling to connect from the main bag. This one, and then I also bought this one. This is the ring buckle for the bag. This is 54 each, so I bought two. This is for my PRIMA crossbody bag. I will have to finish it. And then I also purchased this electronic kitchen scale. This one. Because I wanted to check my project and also my yarns, because I wanted to organize them in my Ravelry stash. I will show to you next time how I will organize my stash in my Ravelry. So I bought this. So that's why I was able to check how much yarn I was able to consume with my PNINA, because I already have this. I just bought this in my local store. This is 210 pesos. So this is another item that I purchased for my crochet craft. And now for the yarn haul, I know you would be surprised that I'm already on a different shirt and a little bit of a different setting, because it's already dark outside, because I wasn't able to finish the filming of my podcast last week. Yes, it took me a week to finish it now. I had to do an errand. Last week, we have to fetch my daughter at school, so I ran out of time to finish the podcast. And only now that I was able to continue the podcast. I don't want to start from the beginning, so I thought that I might just continue filming the yarn haul, and then I'm going to add it to the previous video that I already did. And now for the yarn haul, let's start with the yarns that I purchased first. So let's start with the yarn haul. Let me get my notes. I don't memorize the yarns that I have here, because I have quite a lot here in my table. But before that, by the way, I just remembered that I have one whip that I wasn't able to mention while filming the whip portion of the podcast last week, so I'm going to show it now. I also have this whip, by the way. This is my Mayona shawl. The prototype of my Mayona shawl was crocheted 2 years ago, or almost 3 years ago. Like, when I was in the province. I was able to mention this during a lot of my previous podcast, and now I'm revisiting because I'm trying to write the pattern. I have to redo the pattern, like what I usually did with my pattern that has been, or that were unreleased yet. So I have to redo so that I would be able to write the pattern. And I did tweak some parts of the pattern, like here. I inserted this part here before having this, because with the prototype that I had before, it was really actually okay, but I wanted to pump it up a little bit, so I added this one. But then I realized that I didn't like it quite a lot, so I think I might frog this off, and I'm going to do the original pattern that because I think I have two, like here. I only have one row of the whole pattern here, and then from the original prototype that I did, I had two, and I think I might bring it up back again, and I would still insert this one, this sort of a divider. Let me see. So yes, I think I might, the feeling of frogging this off and making or bringing up the original design is very strong for me this time. So I think I might frog this off. Yeah, but that's okay. That's how designing is. But in the middle of creating my Mayona, I suddenly wanted to revisit another pattern. But before that, so the yarn that I used here is an 8-ply fine fingering weight cotton from Stitches and Beyond by JK. I love the color of this, the gradients. This is very, very pretty. And yes, I will really have to frog this off. I wanted to try, putting back that design and see if it would really work, and if it's more like good than this, shall I say. So yeah, at the middle of creating this, I really wanted to visit another pattern, or I had an urge to visit another pattern of mine that I was able to create in the height of the pandemic. It was an unreleased pattern. So I already showed it before. It was my CALLA ZIVA. Like, my CALLA ZIVA was, like, I've been trying to recreate my CALLA ZIVA for a lot of times already, but like, I always fail to recreate it and to finish it. And yes, like what I've told before, that I was trying to recreate it with the yarn with an 8-ply Indofail yarn, and it was such a fail. Now, since 1 week is already gone, I was able to have a little significant progress, or I was able to have a significant progress with my CALLA ZIVA. So I'm going to show it. So this is the progress of my CALLA ZIVA so far. So this is my CALLA ZIVA. I did it with an 8-ply fine fingering weight cotton, 100% cotton. The yarn was purchased last, I think, 2017. The yarn was from Ashley's Crochet, and it's this one. So this. So the pattern is really not a yarn eater. Like, it's really fast to work up. And since like I was just starting this, I was just crocheting this within a week, and this is my progress already. This is my progress so far. So it works out really fast. And I still have to decide if I'm going to add more rows than the original, because from the original prototype, I only had more or less 3 of this part. But since I'm using a different yarn this time, thinner yarn this time, I thought, or I am sure that I would have a smaller shawl than what I had before. But I still have to decide, or let's see if where this pattern would take me this time with thinner yarn. So yes, this is my CALLA ZIVA. I would like to finish this within a week, and hopefully I would be able to have a tester call next week. So this is my CALLA ZIVA. Now let's go with the yarn haul. So first, let's start with the yarn that of course I purchased first. So I have these yarns purchased first. So like what I've said before, that I did not bought these yarns at one time. Like I was able to accumulate this since March for 2 months. So these are the first batch of yarns that I purchased first here. And this white, because I did mention that I ran out of white yarn for my PRIMA squares. So I have to purchase, and to justify the shipping cost, because like it would not be, for me, it would not be justifiable that I would be paying the certain cost of the shipping fee, and then I would only be buying 1 yarn. So like what I've said, just to justify, I have to buy more yarns together with the main yarn that I really wanted to buy. So yes, this is the white yarn. This is 200 grams. And of course, I'm using it already. And this is 4-ply endofill. I will try to show you what's a 4-ply endofill. Let me see. So when I say 4-ply, you really can separate the ply of this yarn. So here, it's 4-ply there. I hope you can see it, or you would be able to see this. So this is 4-ply endofill. This is 100% acrylic. And yes, along with this, I purchased this one. This is, let me see. So this is Rosy Tan, 100 grams, still 4-ply. And then I have Nude, and I have Ash Brown. They didn't come in individual plastic, but I was the one that put them inside a plastic because it's really dusty here in my place, so I have to protect my yarns. So these are 100 grams, and I bought these yarns in Shopee, and the seller is Yarncoholic. So they are 100% and 54 pesos only. And the white is 108. This one, since this is 200 grams, this is 108 pesos. Now next is this very pretty yarn. This is an 8-ply fine fingering weight cotton, 100% cotton, and the color is periwinkle. It was the color that made me bought this yarn actually. So I have 3. I ordered 3, and each of this is in 100 grams, and each cake is 52 pesos. And I bought this in Shopee as well. And the seller is Ganchillo Bolakenia. the reason that I bought this, because I have this certain project that I have in mind. And actually, I was in a search of this color that would go with the other color that I have in mind. And luckily, I was able to buy the yarn, the color of the yarn that I really wanted to pair with this type of color. And yes, that is the next one. So the next batch of yarn that I ordered online, so all of these yarns, I bought this online. So next are these. And again, it was just this particular yarn. It was just this yarns that I wanted to purchase because I wanted to pair this particular color with this one. So this is, and the color is auburn red, and this is 200 grams. And I love the reddish and rusty red color of this. So this is actually the main reason that I have these yarns. And still, just to justify the shipping cost, I bought more yarns. So this one is heather brick pink, still 200 grams. And this one is mustard. I've been wanting to buy a mustard colored yarn. So I have it. So I bought this one along with this. So all of this are 200 grams each and 90 pesos. And I bought this from World of Yarns in shop. And the next is, so I'm not just going to remove the yarns from the plastic. Now next is, but I will try to show you one yarn later. I will open one yarn later. Now next is this yarns here. So these three are Indifill yarns, 100% acrylic, 4-ply. Because I bought these yarns because I wanted to recreate, not really recreate, because I wasn't able to finish yet my Marcasa shawl, but because I wanted to create the pattern in a different yarn, because I realized that the pattern, because it's a textured pattern, the pattern is not that visible, the texture is not visible with mixed colored yarns or variegated yarns, yes. And I wanted to do the Marcasa with a solid color so that, you know, the textured pattern would be very visible. So I'm trying to do the Marcasa with these yarns. And yes, this is mixed colored yarn because I was trying to, I think of inserting another detail or another design with the Marcasa so that I would have I just wanted to add different pattern with the Marcasa that would be okay for a mixed colored yarn. But on the part wherein there are textured stitches, I'm going to use the solid color yarn, and then with the design that I would try to insert, I will try to use a mixed colored yarn. So that is the reason that I purchased these yarns. And of course, I added this one because this is a candy colored yarn. I love it, and I thought that this could also get along with this one. But when I received the yarns, this too is perfect for me to pair. So I will still have to decide what I'm going to do with this. But I did not regret buying this one because I love this yarn. And aside from the 3 cakes of Indifill yarn, I purchased this one. This is a gradient cake. It's more like a rose gold or old rose, I mean. and then a little bit of mocha and brown or tan. I'm not sure with the color. It's visible. So here, it was on sale. So I was able to buy this for, let me see, for 198, and it's already 250, approximately 250 grams. So it's really a steal. So I bought this. And by the way, the Indophil yarns, the solid one is 100 grams and it's 59 pesos. And yes, it's 59 pesos. And then the mixed colored yarns are, I'm sorry, the candy colored yarns and there's another mixed colored yarn is 59 pesos. They're 59 pesos each. So this one, the candy colored, the candy mix is, it is the golden yellow, fuchsia, apple green, powder blue, and yeah, those are the colors that is here. And then the other one is, I don't know, I think it has a green like this, and then some beige, and then blue, and I don't know, I'm not sure with the color. So these two, each of this is 59 pesos. And then the solid colored yarn, which is lime, the color of this is lime, is 54 pesos. And yes, and I forgot to tell you the prices of these fine cotton yarns. So since these are 200 grams, so these are 90 pesos each, and from World of Yarn in Shopee. And then these Indophil yarns, I bought this from another yarn farm of Aliyah. Now, yeah, and the last one is this one. Supposed to be the yarn that I'm going to continue with my CALLA ZIVA, but like what I've mentioned before, that it's totally different color. I bought this from Jandrick Shop, and this is 130 pesos. I only bought this one. I did not buy any yarn along with this purchase. So that's it for the yarn haul. I think this one is 139 pesos. This is an 8-ply and 250 grams. So all of these yarns, I'm going to put the link of the shops where I was able to buy them on the description box below. So I have decided to show you each yarn without the plastic. Now this is the nude Indophil yarn. This is nude, and then this is rosy tan. Okay, can you see the difference? And then this one is ash brown. They're very pretty, neutral colors. And then next is, so this is the periwinkle. There. Sorry. There. This is an 8-ply fine cotton. And then next is this one. So take a look with these two colors together. Isn't it pretty? There. So this is auburn red. And then this is heather brick pink. And then this is the mustard. And then next is this candy colored yarns with, let me see my notes, with golden yellow, fuchsia pink, apple green, and powder blue. So here, This is powder blue, apple green, fuchsia pink, and then golden yellow. It's pretty. And then another mixed color yarn. Here, I think this is nude. And then there's white. There is lime and mint green, I think. So that's another mixed colored yarn. And then this one, lime green or lime. It's very pretty. And then this one, gradient cake. It is an old rose, and then mocha, and then brown or tan. It's pretty. And then the last one, this is an 8-ply individual yarn that was supposed to be used for my CALLA ZIVA, but it was named as lemon yellow, but I don't know why it's totally different from the one that I purchased before. So there's the yarn that I purchased lately. I hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, I hope you like this podcast, and consider subscribing and liking this podcast, and I will see you all next time. Happy crocheting, and God bless us everyone.